Evening.
Good evening.
It is my pleasure to be your hostess tonight for our Blast from the Past. The entertainment has been brought to you by Dave and Judy Marshall and Kim and Betsy Irvin. So you can thank them or chastise them after the show. A few weeks ago, Shirley Harrod. Has anybody ever realized how many different things start with Shirley Harrod? Shirley Harrod commented on how much she enjoys that the younger and the older generations get along at the Three Chop Church. So tonight, some of the younger generation and a couple of the older generation have decided to entertain y'all with some music from the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. So we hope you remember some of these songs. And I think our first act for tonight is Mr. Arlo Guthrie with his rendition of the motorcycle song. And I think that we're going to have an old motorcycle guy to explain the significance of the pickle. So let's hear it for Arlo Guthrie.
Pickle. I just want to ride on my motorcycle. And I don't want to tickle. I just want to ride on my motorcycle. And I don't want to die. I don't want to pickle. I just want to ride on my motorcycle. And I don't want to tickle. I just want to ride on my motorcycle. And I don't want to die. I just want to ride on my motorcycle.
I've been asked to come out here while Arlo plays this song and try to explain the significance of the pickle in this motorcycle song. Most people think it's a pretty dumb song, but after the explanation of the origin of the song, you'll still probably think it's a dumb song, but at least you'll understand why it's a dumb song. A lot of people believe that Arlo Guthrie here got the inspiration for this song on his own, but it was actually he's actually mostly just the singer of the song. The real creators of this song is a group of buddies called the Three Chop Choppers. One day the Three Chop Choppers, they were riding up a curvaceous mountain road. Pretty curvy. With a mountain on one side of the road and nothing but cliff and air on the other side. And they were going about 250 miles per hour. Not quite that fast. Norman Harrod was the leader of the ride. Now Norm doesn't normally ride that fast, but he got confused about the road signs. They were on Highway 250 and he thought that was the speed limit sign. So they were riding along, going up that mountain, going real fast. Not knowing where they were going or where they were, but knowing that they were making really good time. Now Norman doesn't like to buy many new clothes. He likes to just wear the same clothes until one day comes that they just wear it completely out and disappear. And if you've ever been with Norman when his clothes wear out and disappear, you know it's a pretty unnerving experience. Well, it was about this time that Norman's pants began their final trip on the motorcycle. And a thread of that denim began flapping in a 250-mile-per-hour breeze and ended up winding around a signpost on the side of the road. It had the number 55 on it. That's funny, thought Norman. I didn't know we were on Highway 55. Well, that denim was wearing out, but it didn't break. And that signpost didn't break, and it didn't come out of the ground either. So it caused Norman's pants to make a sudden left turn off the mountain, where it was 1,000,000 feet to the bottom. And since his pants were on Norman, and Norman was on the bike, all three of them made that left turn. And since the three chopped riders were following Norman, and they didn't know where they were going anyway, they all made the turn. So there they were, going 250 miles per hour sideways through the air and 1,000,000 feet down. Mark Jameson was bringing up the rear, and he was looking out for cops because he was pretty sure that what they were doing was somehow against the law. Well, they fell for a long time. They fell for a long time. That's pretty long. So Eddie Hendricks took off his helmet, looked in his saddlebag, and took out a brown paper bag that Carol had fixed for him, made him a little snack. And he figured that even though he was falling 1,000,000 feet, he shouldn't let the snacks go to waste. And he took out a bottle of water that he had refilled at the kitchen sink because he hated to pay 99 cents for a new bottle of water when the old one could be refilled for free. Well, he ate his pasta salad with his little plastic fork. He ate his spinach quiche with his fingers. And he ate a piece of homemade banana nut bread that Carol had lovingly baked and placed in his brown paper bag of snacks. And then after Eddie had finished his peanut butter crackers and a giant cranberry muffin and a pimento cheese sandwich halves with the crust cut off, he finished off with a homemade oatmeal raisin cookie just to keep him regular. Well, Eddie could feel Jerry Norman staring at the back of his head. But he didn't look at Jerry because he knew that Jerry was back there behind him sinning. That's right, Jerry was lusting after Eddie's snacks. Well, sometimes Jerry's sugar just gets low and he can't help it. But Eddie finally turned around, couldn't take it any longer, tossed the brown paper bag to Jerry, said, "Would you like to have a snack?" Jerry seemed appreciative until he looked in the bag and he saw that the only snack that Eddie had left him was one slice of pickle. Dill. Well, Jerry said he thought if a man was going to have a last snack while falling 1,000,000 feet at 250 miles per hour, it ought to be more than a dill pickle. And besides, he didn't think it would help his sugar level much anyway. Well, when Bob Odell saw the look on Jerry's face when Jerry looked in that bag and saw that pickle, Bob got so tickled that he began to laugh. Well, this hurt Jerry's feelings because even though Jerry will ride a motorcycle at 250 miles per hour off the side of a 1,000,000-foot cliff, he still has a sensitive side. So Bob repented of his insensitive laughing, and Jerry offered the pickle to every one of the three choppers, but they all said the same thing. "I don't want a pickle. I just want to ride on my motorcycle." And realizing that laughing at Jerry wasn't a cool thing either, they all said, "And I don't want a tickle. I just want to ride on my motorcycle." And also realizing that they were getting pretty close to the end of their 1,000,000-foot fall off the cliff, they all said, "And I don't want to die. I just want to ride on my motorcycle." And at that precise second, they landed. But they didn't hit the ground. Instead, they landed right on top of a cop car that was sitting at the bottom of the mountain. Mark Jameson had failed to see him because he was expecting the cop to come from above and didn't think about him sneaking up on them from below. And so, when the cop car broke their fall. They broke their fall, for which they were very grateful, and they sincerely thanked the cop for serving and protecting them after their 1 million foot fall off the cliff. But the policeman still gave Norman a ticket for riding a motorcycle in public with no pants. And when the three choppers stopped at a gas station to refill Eddie's water bottle, they told her story, and Arlo Guthrie was sitting in his bus hearing that story, and he wrote a song about it, and he called it the Motorcycle Song. And most people, when they hear the song, think it's a dumb song, and they don't understand the song. But now you can understand the song, and you understand the significance of the pickle in the song. And you might still think it's a dumb song, because it is.
It is. Sing it with me, though.